Yes, so my name's Nerys. I've worked at ACE Action in Cairo and Ely for the last 9 years. I live locally in the community, so my roots are deeply embedded in these streets. My role prior to this project was supporting people who were in financial hardship and financial difficulties, and we began seeing a lot of working families coming through the door. So that's my involvement with the Working Families project. Yeah, so it was very broad. So it was just basically trying to figure out what the need was within the community, particularly amongst working households, and how we could respond to that need in a community way that not only involves people, but also allows them the opportunity to shape what we do and also take a lead on some of the projects that we developed. It was very much an asset-based and doing with, not for, and working with local schools. They had a huge input, and parents from local schools massively influenced the direction of the project. So it was one of those things that we weren't given a set of outcomes and a list of deliverables. It was really broad, and it was really exciting. But we did sort of have a few conversations as to how we could kind of shape it. Obviously, managing expectations is always an issue. But our first port of call was engaging with the schools. We set up a series of focus groups with families just to find out what their struggles were, what life looked like for them. The common theme was the constant juggle and struggle that comes with being a working family, and all the responsibilities that come with that. So we kind of really picked that apart, and what we did from there then is we identified a number of themes that kind of informed the direction of the work that we did through this project and this piece of work. So my role is that of a senior development officer. I work alongside Becky. Becky is the more fun, interactive person on the project. I'm more the more practical person. So a lot of families that we work with are in material need and quite often financial difficulty. My role is to support them through that and try and increase financial resilience and just try and support the families make that money go a little bit further. We've seen far more engagement with working families. I think historically we've seen as a centre that offers support, but perhaps to those who are on low income and not necessarily working. This project has made people within the community feel that they matter and that they are being noticed, and their struggles are being highlighted. So for us, it's just about getting people through the door now who feel that they've got a place that they can access and that there is work going on that is specifically designed to meet their needs. A lot of our working families not able to access things during the typical working day. So we've tried to focus a lot of what we do beyond the sort of 9 to 5 to make sure that it's accessible for our working families. And also, we feel that sometimes when we've placed a charge on an activity, it changes the relationship with the person because you're providing a service with them. It takes away any stigma that is associated with accessing charity, and it creates a different relationship. It's more reciprocal, if you like. COVID was obviously a huge challenge, and we kind of redesigned what we were doing and the model that we were planning on using. One of the difficulties we had is because this project didn't really have a clear set of outcomes. It was very open-ended, which was also equally exciting. However, it kind of did create a few concerns around expectations and what we could do to try and help alleviate some of the issues that the families were facing. We weren't able to change the world, but we were really keen to try and make a small difference in our local area within the limitations of the project and the constraints that we had. But I think we've done some good work, and I hope that will continue going forward. I think the volunteers have played a vital role in everything that we've done so far. I don't think that it would have been able to happen without their continued and ongoing support. I think this type of work is always going to need somebody driving it, even if it is just in a very sort of, step back capacity, but offering that support to support ongoing bits of work that have developed as a result of this project. From my perspective, I've been doing some work with the Bevan Foundation. And what it's doing for us is giving us the opportunity to not only react to people's financial situations, but it's also given us a means to engage with decision makers and evidence people's lived experiences. We've submitted several pieces of evidence to various committees within the Senedd to consider, and we're really keen to work with working families to design solutions and make recommendations to bring about a more systemic change. I've learned working with people and involving them means that amazing things can happen. I've learned that it can become quite tricky to manage large groups of volunteers and meet their expectations. I've learned so much about what happens in schools and how they work. And I've learned that we can't change the world, but we can certainly look to make a small difference in our local area. And we can learn from each other, and we can develop things that kind of might seem a little bit radical. But actually, once you start picking apart what the problem is, there is a solution there, and it's just about working together to make that happen.